And it brings us to the show of shows. Welcome to Top Rope Spoilers for WrestleMania. If you're not excited, then why are you here watching us?
What are you doing?
Exactly. But first of all, who noticed?
Me.
Anybody who didn't see our Evolution video that premiered about an hour before this went live, we have ourselves a new logo, a whole bunch of new ones actually. So if you didn't get a chance to do it, it's only a minute long. Go back, watch it. We'll wait here. Okay, we waited. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? But we've got ourselves a whole bunch of new things. We've figured out that, in the wrestling world, and especially when you're trying to do stuff on social media, you got to be prepared to evolve with the times.
Exactly.
And part of it is also improving ourselves as well. So it all comes with the territory. But, hey, they're not here to chat about our social life. They're here to talk about WrestleMania, which we are, at the time of this recording, we are like 9 hours from being on a plane.
Whoop,
So,
whoop.
whoosh. But first of all, again, thank you to the Weeknd. For the third year in a row, he supplies the fight song, or theme song, I guess, for WrestleMania. This year it's Sacrifice. But he just keeps dropping some bangers out here with every single episode.
Yeah, he does. For anyone that can give me the answer without looking it up, what is the Weeknd's actual biological name? If you can give me that without looking it up, and I know you don't look it up,
Don't
then
be using my government name.
there may be a surprise in store for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want to see how many people can actually give me the actual birth name of this
Alyssa's back there holding up a finger. I'm pretty certain that we're not allowed to play.
No.
But speaking of prizes, though, that's not our only one, of course. That this is our WrestleMania giveaway. Anybody who entered our contest, be on the lookout this weekend. We are going to spin the picker wheel twice. All the names are on it at this point. So if you've got an opportunity and you signed yourself up, just know we might be in contact with you. And if you happen to be in Dallas at the time, come see us, man. We've got on our Mania Club jerseys. Watch for the On the Ring apron on the back. I'm blocking the camera, I'm sure, so Kia's got to jump in order to do it.
This is short girl problems. I'm 5'5", just for y'all to know.
I like them short, but
And
we're about to have a real shocker here in a second. But of course, WrestleMania is our two-part show here, where it actually counts double in terms of our scores. Kia will slide back for just a quick second. We do count, of course. We already had Stand and Deliver that premiered yesterday, so if you didn't watch that, go back and check it out for Saturday morning.
Nobody pay attention to this. That don't matter.
My Perfect War Games.
That don't matter. Don't matter.
Well, then if you're going to ignore that, let's ignore the fact that you're 2 ahead entering the weekend.
No, we won't pay attention to that. Not that.
But, it does bring it into our second season, our final set of shows and matches in terms of being able to pick up points and find out if Kia can hold off the late charge that I've been able to make from Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber to see if I can close the gap, or will Kia take it. For the record, I took Season 1, Kia trying to take Season 2 here.
So here's what we're going to do. If I take Season 2 and say I hold on to it and get all the way through WrestleMania, you've got to put together a clip of the first season I flubbed up. All the flub ups. I mean, even down to the little toots and poops.
Well, that's good news that I actually have help with this. But that does, of course, but it also brings us into WrestleMania also being the first set of points for Season 3 as well. And
what? Who?
I like when we have these things. Who? Drop a little thing there. But we do, as we say, have a new challenger approaching. You've asked for her, you've called for her, and now stepping into the stage, it is Alyssa.
Hey, y'all.
She jumps in from behind the camera. She will be joining us this season for Season 3. We only have so much room in camera, so we might have to kind of shift in and out while we figure out our scheme here a little bit.
Hello.
But also, that's not our only challenger that's also entering the season. Not only will Alyssa be joining us, but also you, our followers, will also be joining us in competition this year as well. We're calling you guys the OTRAs. If you follow us on YouTube, which of course, if you're...
Oh, that's us. Oh, okay.
Which of course, if you're here watching us, then you obviously follow us. Every week, every premium live event, about a week before the event, you're going to start seeing posts come out where we're going to literally put up the poll. Who do you think's going to win? And at the time that the bell rings, whoever has the higher percentage is who the OTRAs are taking for that match. And let's find out if our followers are as good at this as we are, or if they're even better at it than we are.
Hey.
So, Kia and I will still be in. And this year we're going to keep it simple. Just if you win, you get a point. We're not going to keep track of the losses because it just gets too complicated. And
Yeah.
My brain can't do that kind of math.
It was complicated for the two of us, and I don't even like math.
So you'll be seeing the three of us kind of shuffling out until we can get our camera situated because there's just not enough room for three plus a screen. So you might hear me doing a little more talking from the side. But let's move into WrestleMania Saturday. That's what we're here for. This will be a two-part episode. So we open with, first of all, I was able to get the moving screen. So,
You've been hard at work, huh?
Yeah, I wanted this to be done, but a match that was just added this last week on Friday Night Smackdown as the return of King Woods allows for the New Day to be able to reunite. Obviously, this has taken kind of a sour turn because as soon as Butch made his official debut, formerly Pete Dunne of NXT.
Who came up with this ridiculous name for this man?
You know this answer.
Oh my freaking goodness.
He was to join up the side of Sheamus and Ridge Holland, which would have allowed, of course, Big E to go. But on the same night that Butch makes his debut, of course, what happened to Big E happens and kind of throws this match away. So Dunne ends up making his debut on the main roster, essentially, and won't even get a match at Mania. But we do end up with a tag team match as the New Day will reunite with Kofi Kingston and King Woods against the team of Sheamus and Ridge Holland.
Okay. And since he came up with a whole new name, we won't even speak on that because we know who did that foolishness. Is he bald at this point? Because I don't see no hair on this man.
He's still got a little bit of hair on the back, but he's wearing the Irish wool cap at this point.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say this one obviously had a different feel for it. It was supposed to eventually be a 6-man tag with Big E also involved as well to allow the New Day to have an opportunity to reunite again. And obviously thanks to what happened to Big E, and you're one of our followers as well. So we wish you the safest in your recoveries. We hope to see you back soon. But this
Speedy
one,
recovery.
Unfortunately is not the way you expected it, but still has the capabilities. You've got several world champions, 2 former King of the Rings out there.
Yeah.
This has all the capability of great matches.
Yeah.
Okay. I dropped the mouse.
Out of 2 years worth of flubs, that's your first
There.
one.
Yeah, I don't make mistakes. What do we call it? One take, Steve? Come on.
Gotcha.
Tag. Now you get to talk for a little bit.
Oh, God.
She's great behind the camera. Let's see how she does in front of it.
Alright, so, I'm supposed to be picking somebody, right?
Yeah.
So,
but you have the first pick of the season.
okay, we're gonna go with, King Woods and, Kofi Kingston. One, because the, athleticism of this man is accosting, and 2, I feel like there's gonna be, and I hate to be the first one to say this, but I feel like there's gonna be some a receipt there for what happened. All due respect, of course.
That's true.
But,
Woods just coming back from injury.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So this man got something to prove. This man, we already know what he gonna do. Now I'm not gonna lie, there's some challenging people, but I digress. I think their speed will be okay. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. So for me, I love both teams. Everybody knows I'm a tag team person. Doesn't matter if it's men, women. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's an intergender tag. I honestly feel, for me, Butch is in the background, so I feel like he could technically play a part. Now, Big E is not here, but that man's with them in spirit. He's dancing with a neck brace or whatever has happened to him. He is dancing somewhere. He's there in spirit, so I can feel the new Day Rocks. Day Rocks.
It's a given.
From the side, I can feel that. Now, when it comes to Holland, hasn't he already busted up his nose? Didn't someone bust up? Was it Ricochet that
It was
busted up?
Ricochet.
At day 1, we were there.
Okay, so this man, I've seen him along with Cody Rhodes have busted up noses and actually decide they're going to actually stick around to fight.
Sheamus had a mask for a while, too.
He really did. I forgot. Excuse me. Sorry, the disrespect. He's had a match as well. I feel like this team right here is strength and numbers and literally physically. These two right here, we know what Kofi brings to the table, or he brings to the mat when he puts his hands upside down, his feet is in the air. We've seen his past matches. King Woods, on the other hand, I have nothing but respect for him. I feel like it could work, but without the third, without the Big E, I feel like they may win. It's a possibility, a 50%, which I'm good with 50%, that this team right here will win.
So you're going with Sheamus and Holland.
I'm going with Ridge Holland and Sheamus O'Farley. Well, that's his biological name. So, yeah, this team right here. What about you, Steve?
I've got to go with Kofi and Xavier on this one, or King Woods, I guess is now he's being officially called. And for no other reason than just the fact that I think they're going to give Big E his roses, you know.
Yeah.
They really made this match this wasn't what was supposed to happen. But yet they're making the best with what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And this was honestly supposed to be an opportunity for Big E to be rewarded for him being willing to take the singles run that, I mean, he took and he ran with that ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, WWE Championship for months, wins Money in the Bank, cashes it in successfully, holds the title for months, takes Roman Reigns to his limit at Survivor Series, and then
Can we not speak of the loss? Can we not?
ultimately miss out on Mania. So I feel like this will be something that this is going to be done on behalf of Big E.
Yeah.
So I like Xavier and Kofi to win this match.
All right, I feel like it's 2 against 1. All right, it's okay.
Well, you got to open up somewhere. Let's move into our second one again. Moving screens, I love it. But this is probably going to be my bathroom break. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie about it because I have felt nothing with this except for the one night that I'll bring up here in a moment. But it is the original, the original wrestling tag team debut of the Mysterios in front of a live audience. They didn't get a chance to wrestle together at 37, so this will actually be their WrestleMania debut wrestling together. And they take on the, I guess, Hollywood bro couple of The Miz and Logan Paul. Logan Paul, of course, known for taking a stunner from Kevin Owens last year as his big Mania moment. But the reality is I felt nothing for this match until about 2 weeks ago when The Miz pulled the mask off of Rey Mysterio, which anyone who is of luchador background knows that is considered the ultimate level of disrespect.
Okay.
But Miz is willing to take it to that level, and then to see Logan Paul wearing Mysterio's mask the following week, it kind of, really jarred the emotions. So it may have brought me back into it, but to be honest, on the entire Saturday card, this is the one I'm having a hard time getting behind.
Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and speak on as much as I love The Miz. This person of all people to be your partner? Miz, you're awesome. What are you doing? You're hanging with... What is this?
Well, I mean, Paul's a valid boxer. I mean,
that's great. That's great. Okay, but I would prefer seeing someone else that's not Logan Paul.
Feisty for me. We're gonna tag out.
I would prefer seeing Maurice in this place with them because we know she's bad and we know she's got what she's got and she can deal with. She will help her man.
Maurice, you say?
Yes, Maurice, the blonde bombshell from,
Canada.
But I'm just saying, this is not gonna work. I will make this my bathroom break as well. Actually, you know what? My food break, my booze break, my whatever break. But this is not going to get watched. Now, on the other hand, y'all understand, I love Ray. I actually started watching. He was one of the people I started watching for. And the fact that I was so intrigued by the mask and the eye colors and what he would come out with. He's come out in some different costumes. As far as, Dominik, we've seen him grow up, right there. On the other side of the ring, and now he's fighting in the ring with his father, which is a good thing. I honestly, if you ask me, as much as I will not be watching it because I will be going to the bathroom, getting something to drink, and getting something to eat, I am pulling for not this team.
A reminder, you do have a child sleeping on the other side of that wall. So
He sleeps like his mother, so he probably did not even hear that.
So you're going with the Mysterios.
I really am.
Alyssa?
It's very obvious who I'm going with. I'm also going to go with the Mysterios. I think that's pretty simple. We don't even really need to talk about it. They pretty much solidified the win when he took that mask off and when he brought his little happy ass around the corner.
Disrespect
No.
to the full
Absolutely not. Y'all finna get y'all's
come up in.
behind rocked, and then that's all it is.
Keeping it brief, I'll complete the trifecta. I'm going with the Mysterios as well. This has no Miz. First of all, you've got 2 first ballot Hall of Famers already.
You
You've
really
got
do.
Mysterio, you've got Miz. I don't care what your opinion is of the Miz. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He goes in the next year after he retires. I don't think there's any debate. Mysterio should already be in already, and he already is in a couple of other organizations. It serves no purpose to give Logan Paul a win under this circumstance. He's getting his WrestleMania moment because he did well last year in Tampa. He gets a match, but the reality is, he's not going to gain or net anything from picking up a win in a wrestling match at WrestleMania, especially over a legendary duo of the Mysterio family. I don't see it making any sense for Paul to get a win in this situation. And The Miz has never had a problem being a guy who loses at WrestleMania. We've seen him lose to more names than we can count. Of course, his one thing he hangs his hat on is retaining over Cena in the main event of 27, which we attended in Atlanta. But I like the Mysterios as well. I think it just makes more sense.
Also, before we flip this script right here, I would have seen anybody. Let's go ahead and state Bad Bunny could have been right there. I'm just saying that would be the only way I'd pick the Miz.
Well, perhaps a potential spoiler a little bit later, because doesn't Seth still need an opponent?
Yes, he does.
Where is Bad? Does anybody know where he is? Somebody find out.
He's on tour.
Moving screen for match number 3.
Hey.
But we're going to get a matchup that, has been a couple of months in the making. You've got to go all the way back to day 1, also in Atlanta, where Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, after Moss was soundly defeated by Drew McIntyre, they proceeded to essentially put McIntyre's neck inside of a chair and then proceeded to injure him. And McIntyre has made it a point to make Corbin's life a living hell.
As he should.
Now, since Corbin went to Vegas all the way back at SummerSlam this last year and hit the jackpot and got rich again, he actually is undefeated. So, this has been the one thing that he, no pun intended, has hung his hat on throughout the entire period of time, but now he faces his toughest challenge in the former 2-time WWE champion in Drew McIntyre.
Okay, you said he's been undefeated since he's won that money?
Correct.
This on his face has defeated him in a major way. He could just go ahead and let this go.
I promise
X
this.
Games
I'm
mode.
serious.
Oh my
This one's
God.
supposed to be a fashion show, but Jesus.
I'm sorry. No,
What?
not.
Go.
So either way, I was there. I was not there, but I actually got to see what happened to Drew when he got injured. I was not really a fan. Y'all understand, I love me some Drew. I really do. And to see him get hurt, you know that there's a receipt coming.
Yep.
Scottish Highland, kilt wearing, sword carrying, hairy man chested, long hair receipt. That receipt is coming. So y'all just go ahead and know. Keep your head on a swivel. It doesn't matter if you're out in town. You matter sitting down to eat. Don't matter. He will get you for what you did. Just saying. So with that being said, I don't really think, there's no... I'm pulling for Drew. Drew could be... There could be nothing right here, and I'm pulling for Drew. There could be... You know what? Drew.
Alyssa?
I'm also going to go with Drew. Any person that is bold enough to take, a sword around wherever they go and just
For the
be like-
record, also, Corbin has the sword right now, so...
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Corbin swiped the sword on the last Raw. So
What?
unless something happens on SmackDown, later tonight, then,
Why do I feel so much disrespect in this
That's what I'm
pay-per-view?
saying.
The sword?
It's giving.
What? Okay, what was the sword's name? I do not... I know
it's named after his mom.
that...
You're done.
You're definitely
There went
done.
his streak. Oh,
Wait, he will...
That'll do it.
That'll do it. That'll do it. I am done.
oh God.
Good save. I already dropped the mouse. About time she knocks over the camera. I'm going Drew as well. It makes sense. Corbin has gotten his fantastic storyline, but really I feel like we're at the stage now where, as much as I hate to say it, I think Corbin needs another remake. Honestly, I would love to see him take a little bit of time away. I want long-haired NXT lone wolf Corbin.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the Corbin I want back.
That's the one I want, not this
and
goofy thing.
Madcap, I'm back to NXT, I guess. I don't know. This isn't working for me. You know, me personally, it was funny when Madcap first got here, you know, and I thought they made a good pairing because he needed a friend, but it also always felt like he was the friend because all of a sudden now he had money, you know, and so you felt like, you know, he was there because he was getting paid to be there. But I think this has run its course, and I think the perfect guy to literally kick it out of the ring and kick it out of storyline is Drew himself. I like Drew in this one as well.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. You got this, baby. You got this. Woo!
All right, well, we're going to let Alyssa hold the first championship match of Saturday, and it was for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. Our first sign of the bloodline as the reigning Smackdown Tag Champions, the Usos. The Ones will defend against the team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you something from the sideline. I unlike Madcap Moss or whatever that crazy man's name is, I'm okay with Boogs. Now I'm not okay with the haircut they gave him because I actually ended up liking the long hair. So either way, I'm okay with him. So he's good in my book. Plus he can play an instrument. I love guys that can play instruments. Keep going.
No comment on that one, but either way, because I can't even play the triangle. The Usos have been holding the championship for over 270 days as we hit WrestleMania. They have run the SmackDown Tag Division, granted, you know, behind the help of the Tribal Chief, who we'll see in the episode later today for WrestleMania Sunday. But they have run the division. They have, you know, defended their championship by hook or by crook when need be. But the reality is the gold has been sitting around their waist for, you know, closing in on a year now. But he now takes on a team of Shinsuke Nakamura, who has NXT championships, Intercontinental titles, you know, on his resume, Royal Rumble winner, WrestleMania main eventer, you know. And Rick Boogs has proven that he is absolutely capable of being able to handle, you know, any type of spotlight because he's literally out there playing songs. All I can hope for, and I'm just going to say, is that I hope that Pat McAfee is still able to be out there because he doesn't wrestle until Sunday. So I'm really hoping that he'll be able to get out there and, you know, can get him dancing on the table when he comes out because Nakamura every year gets a great entrance. So.
He does. If you had to pick the best theme song out of all the men in the world, this man right here.
And just imagine when it's 100,000 plus that are going to be sitting here doing that theme.
First of all, I want to not only hear his theme, I want to see what he's going to wear. Just saying, I'm sorry.
Well, that goes for everybody. I don't think that's necessarily just them, but Nakamura definitely more than anyone else. Alyssa?
Okay. If you don't know, you about to find out. Okay. Alyssa will always pull for the bloodline, okay? I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It's the faces. Look at that. Scrumptious.
Yes, still
Delish.
yumptious.
Speaking of X Games,
Why did they put me on this show? I don't know.
On the ring apron after dark.
Here we go. Now, Huns, y'all.
Okay.
Hooking by crook. I mean, I done lost my train of thought. I don't even know.
You're supposed to be making a pick, Alyssa.
Oh yes.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Well, it's
I
pretty
know you're
obvious
new
who
to
my
this.
pick
We can
is.
let one slide.
This is my pick. This right
Usos.
here. Yeah. We ain't even have to question it. I'm
Yeah.
not ready to see everybody else go. So. Yeah.
You understand, again, tag team championships, you have to understand, I literally have been here for the Usos since day one. Literally. From the moment they were bare feet, not wearing joggers and like shirts and everything. They had long hair, it was in braids. I was there from them since for day one. Face paint, war paint. So to see them progress and evolve, since we're talking about evolutions and all, it's been great to see them getting hurt, coming back, working with Roman Reigns, working with different people, taking the spotlight, stealing the spotlight, fighting with each other, fighting against family, fighting for family. I have literally seen it all with the Usos, and I can tell you right now, I love Nakamura and I like Rick Boogs, but I do not see those titles. Those titles, that's what y'all like to call like gold. I call silver and blue. That fits them so well. So they will keep those titles in the bloodline.
I'm going to go along the lines of using something that we talked about in the Stand and Deliver episode. Again, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But I think the Bloodline is facing the same issue that Toxic Attraction did.
And that is
down, where you've got Mandy Rose holding the women's championship and you have Gigi Dolan and JC Jane holding the tag titles. I feel like when one drops it, they're both going to drop it at the same time. So I really do feel like this could be a precursor to how things are going to potentially go for Roman later on the next night, as he, of course, is in the championship match in the main event of night 2. But, for all of his accolades and everything else, just something feels off about putting a championship and having this team right here be the team that ultimately ends the run of the Usos. I feel like there's another set of teams out there, someone maybe a little more established, that I think will be the one that ultimately kind of brings an end to it. So I don't see it happening quite yet. Don't get me wrong, this could be one that quietly could steal the night because we know what Nakamura can do. Boogs is going to be out there and he's going to entertain every step of the way. But I do think it's probably going to be by crook. But I like the Usos in this one as well. I do think they retain the tag titles.
You have to understand, we saw the tag team that has gone one-on-one with the Usos before. That has been the New Day. So if anybody's going to take those titles back, it's going to be the New Day. I'm just saying. But if they could flip shows.
Well, maybe the winner of this match, maybe the winner of that match from earlier in the night is the next one's up.
Okay.
Moving into our next one, again, moving screen, and we are moving into another championship match. We'll send this one over to Kia this time. But it is for the Raw Women's Championship, and I would argue of all the storylines that we have seen across all of WrestleMania, including Brock and Roman, this is the one that has gotten me the most intrigued of any WrestleMania match. This has been the one, and it's only gotten better all the way up to last week with Becky getting her hair cut.
So I'm glad let me go ahead and segue into this. Y'all understand, I love both of these women. They're great. We have the EST on one side. We have the man on the other side. And when I say these women... Big time. Bex, whatever you want to call her. The fastest, quickest, strongest, toughest, smartest, sweetest, whatever.
Flattest.
No, poor Dewdrop. The flattest.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. With that being said, I love both these women, and I was in shock when Bianca told me, or what, not told me personally, but I was looking at it on Instagram, when she said Becky brought scissors. I'm not going to put nothing past her anymore, ever again. I don't know where this aggression is coming from. She already took my girl's title. I mean, to me, that was Bianca's title.
In a record 26 seconds, so I'm sure Becky will waste no time mentioning at least one more time between now and Mania.
Yeah. You didn't have to take it there. We all knew this already. You could have kept that to the side. But I'm just saying, I want to know, how are you going to technically... You never cut a black girl's hair. You never touch a black girl's hair because a black girl will rock your stuff.
For the record also, look at this.
I'm feeling myself. I've been feeling myself all day, just to let y'all know. That's not the point. Thank you, though. I'm just saying, for you to even think you're going to cut this long braid, are you kidding me? And then you got your hair cut off. But supposedly she's wearing it well, supposedly. So, yeah.
I just think it's the start of the downward decline, but we've also seen other folks like Mickie James back in the day who could all of a sudden turn that psychotic storyline, and maybe more recently you could go with Alexa Bliss. Ooh. If you can run that heel into like psycho heel type of run, and you could see Becky now getting pushed by somebody. The reality is this dates all the way back to SummerSlam, the 26-second match. There has been about an 8-month receipt that Bianca has wasted no time cashing in the moment that she won that Elimination Chamber match 6 weeks ago. And she has made sure at every opportunity that she has made sure that she is cashing in those receipts left and right, with the ultimate receipt potentially coming on Saturday. Alyssa?
Yeah. I'm going to keep it brief. I think it's time for the title to go back to the EST. I like the EST. And that girl's a savage. First of all, can we just speak on how she took them scissors? She said, click, click. She thought about it. She did. I saw her ponder. She pondered. She was like, yes. Snip, snip. I said, and she ain't even try and keep it, like, appropriate either. She did like my hairstylist did. She also gave her layers. But I digress.
Yeah.
I thought she'd let that go. Clearly not. Again, for me, I'm in shock by the whole story. This is the one, if I don't follow anything else, if I haven't followed anything else, I have literally followed these two and their storylines between Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere that they have been able to been able to speak on this match. And I'm not going to lie, I love Becky Lynch, I really do, but it hurt my heart, it hurt my soul, it got me to the core that Bianca lost in 26 seconds. So I feel like there are so many more receipts that she has in that long braid of hers that was not cut, that she's going to go ahead and she's going to dole out, and Becky Lynch is going to not retain. I don't see it. I can't.
You got Bianca as well.
I really do.
Okay. Well, first of all, anyone who has watched me for 2 full seasons, now entering season 3, knows I'm, the resident historian. I keep all the facts and knowledge of everything else. Can we first of all acknowledge the fact that these are the 2 women's main event winners of WrestleMania history? Becky winning at 35, Bianca winning at 37.
Whoop, whoop.
So these are your 2 women, and now they go head-to-head with the Raw Championship on the line. As I said earlier, Bianca has had about a 6 to 7 months worth of receipts. She has bided her time. She's gone through every other person that Raw has put in front of her. Doudrop, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Becky herself, whoever got in her way to ultimately get to where she was trying to get to, and that is back into the main event of WrestleMania. Maybe this one, isn't going to quite get up to main event status as being the last match of the night. But ultimately, when it comes to just an emotional storyline, they have told a fantastic story going all the way back to August of last year. Mm-hmm. It culminates right here, and I don't see any scenario that plays out that doesn't result in the final chapter being Bianca ultimately getting the win here. And I think it's going to start the descent into madness of Becky Lynch. So while I do believe that and my official pick will also be Bianca Belair to win the Raw Women's Championship, I think this is going to bring out a new side of Becky that we haven't seen yet. And as a result, we're going to get an even better Becky. And that's hard to believe because she's already up there in terms of being big time as is.
Yeah. So, if she does decline, spiral downward, do you think Seth is going to be able to assist her and actually being one of the most psychotic women of this decade? Or do you think he will stop her from being one of the most psychotic and say, hey, think about this. Is this how you really want to go? We saw what she did when she actually flipped the script, got punched in the nose, and then she started taking Charlotte out, and they were former best friends.
Well, the reality is, what part do you need her to play?
There you go.
And
she can play all parts.
But we are going Bianca across the board here.
Whoop, whoop.
And that's hard to say because, again, there were many times, that, I think we've picked against Becky and ultimately we've been burned for, me probably more than anyone else. And kind of ironic that you talk about Seth Rollins because he's actually up next.
Oh, there you go.
But this one's going to be one that we have to kind of use our own inferences here because Seth freaking Rollins essentially having to, equivalently try to work his way into WrestleMania, attempted a couple of different ways, but ultimately was unsuccessful in doing so. And as an ultimate result, he ends up having to go to Vince McMahon to ultimately get his match. And he's like, well, I'm not going to have WrestleMania without Seth freaking Rollins. But he's also going to make Rollins have to figure out exactly what he's capable of by essentially saying, you'll find out your opponent when you get in the ring and his music hits. Now, of course, if the dirt sheets are to be believed, we believe we know who the opponent is, but we cannot speculate because we're not, dirt sheet folks. We're not anything, so we can't speculate. We can only guess as to who it is. So I offer up 3 potential scenarios so that way each one of us can discuss one. For Kia, I'd like to present the possibility of it being Mustafa Ali is one name that has popped up.
Okay.
What would you think about Ali and Seth Rollins? Not picking, but just would you think that would be a WrestleMania caliber
I'm not
match?
gonna lie because my dude Mustafa, how do you pronounce it? Mustafa. I'm sorry, it's disrespectful. I've seen them go head to head, and both these men, I feel like could tear down the house and break down the mat in a world class. I think they could be something that they could main event or be a main event caliber match. I think that'd be good. I would love to see that.
Okay, Alyssa, we're gonna slide one over to you here, and one name that I can tell you would not be a very popular choice per se, and I think every one of us would go with Rollins almost immediately. But another name being mentioned is Goldberg.
Oh my God, here we go. I'm sorry. I know it's your choice.
Here we go again.
I'm done.
You gotta worry about me.
Well, you ain't gotta worry about me.
I notice they all want to stand on the Seth side. I wonder if that's for a reason. Anyway, does that, again, you don't have to make a pick, but your thoughts on potentially, if it ends up being Goldberg against Seth, do you think that's a WrestleMania caliber-esque match?
I think anything with Seth Rollins would be a WrestleMania type match.
And why is
And
that?
I think
It's Rollins that makes the match.
There you go. I mean, go ahead, Alyssa.
all I'm gonna say is burn it down, baby. That's all I got to say. Okay.
And then,
Okay.
and then for mine, the one that came across, and we're only allowed to speculate on people that are currently either in legend contract or, with WWE. But another thing was potentially putting him up against Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship. Assuming that he can retain on Friday, of course. He has to defend against both members of Los Lotharios, and then asking him 24 hours later in a spot match against Seth Rollins, and Rollins potentially winning the Intercontinental title, which could start him back on his run towards the world title. There have been other names that have been mentioned that are, kind of outside the business. Shane McMahon's name has come up because he's already been confirmed that he is in Dallas this week.
What about Cody Rhodes?
That's of course another name, but we're not allowed to mention them because, again, we're not dirt sheets or anything. But right now, I'd lean towards him probably being the favorite. But you never know who's gonna pop out. That's the joy of WrestleMania. You may have Hornswoggle walk out for all we know. You truly don't know. But the reality is, you hit the nail on the head, Alyssa. I mean, this is Seth freaking Rollins, and the reality is he has owned WrestleMania throughout his entire career.
Yes,
There's no official pick here, but we just kind of wanted. It was mentioned that of course he'll have a match. Although everyone seems to be pointing to Seth. It's hard to make a pick when you don't know who he's facing. So, like I said, no official pick on this one, but we did want to mention it. Let's move into our next one, which is another championship match, and it's the other women's title match. So, Alyssa, back over to you. In what was originally speculated that it would be the main event of WrestleMania Saturday, but that ended up not being officially the case, as Charlotte Flair, the 13-time women's champion, will defend the SmackDown women's title against the Royal Rumble winner, Ronda Rousey. Alyssa is really struggling in terms of which way does she want to hold that belt.
You didn't have to throw her under the
The
bus like
narration
that.
is not necessary, and it is a costing.
It's kind of difficult though when you're sitting on the edge of the camera though. But either way,
Sorry.
you're fine. This one has been one that has been a budding rivalry since 35 when Rousey lost the title in a match that also involved Charlotte Flair, ultimately won by Becky Lynch, where Becky would end up winning both women's championships in the same night and has handed Ronda Rousey her only singles defeat of her career up to this point. Ronda then moved away for almost 3 full years, but surprised everyone back at the Royal Rumble, won the Rumble without really breaking a sweat, and then wasted no time telling Charlotte that, don't worry, my receipt for Becky's coming. It's just going to come a little later. You're on the list. You're just first on the list.
Ooh.
So she wants Charlotte's title first, and then she'll go deal with Becky. There's been no love lost, no, the two of them, call it what it is, they don't like each other. Solid commentary. I love it. Alyssa, your thoughts?
I think this one's gonna be a good match. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like the best one of the night, but it's gonna be up there. I would say that.
The caliber of both of these women, their athleticism's through the roof. And first of all, I'm just going to say for the record, disrespectful to the WrestleMania folks for putting both women's championship matches on the same night.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Because,
no good.
and that's, and again, I'm saying that with saying the singles championships. We're not referring to the women's tag titles. They will be defended on Sunday. But just to me, it seemed odd that they would put both of them on the same night. You would think you'd want one on each night.
Yeah.
But it turned out how it turned out. No one questions, the baddest woman on the planet. We know what she's capable of. She's beaten the best of the best. She's taken on virtually every name, with only Becky getting the best of her up to this point. But Charlotte has shown that she can hold her own against anybody, past, present, or potential future. And Ronda's been no exception. We know that she's capable of beating Ronda. But the question is, will she actually be able to do it in the same fashion that she has dominated so many others, like Trish in the past when she took on Trish in the Legends match previously, and then you can roll out a list a mile long of people that Charlotte's beaten in her career.
Yeah, that's A lot. Seen a lot.
of people.
You tagging in?
Yeah, come on, man. Ow, Jesus.
I wasn't done, but that's okay.
You got it.
All right, your thoughts?
Again, I feel like we saw an epic match, and I know a lot of people say, it was what it was when we saw a triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, who was a queen, Ronda Rousey, who was the baddest woman on earth, and Becky Lynch at the time, who was the Irish lass kicker. My thing with that is, I feel like Charlotte holding the title is great for the queen because she brings prestige to it. She brings a lot to it, and she's doing it, and not because she's a Flair. She's doing it because she's Charlotte, and she's showing everybody what she can do and how she can do, and it doesn't matter who she goes up against. She's always going to be willing to fight. Minus the times that she's dressed up and she, politely declines, but that's just what queens do. Ronda Rousey, in my opinion, that girl will fight a man. I feel like that girl could fight a bear and win. Okay?
She's getting in her feelings over here. She's getting loud in this corner.
I feel like Ronda Rousey can go up against anyone or anything and take them to the max. We've seen her go against Triple H. We saw her go against Stephanie, Charlotte, Becky. The list is a mile long. We've seen it with Ronda. I feel like, honestly, and I'm getting a little passionate in the words of Alyssa, our new member, I feel like this woman right here has gone away, has trained, has done everything she's supposed to do, and she's come back and she's surprised everybody. And now I feel like it is her time. And yes, she's going after Becky, but that'll be hopefully not in the distant future. But I feel like she needs to get Charlotte out of the way first. Because who knows? I mean, in my opinion, Charlotte and Becky could form up and team up again, long shot. And they probably will do it at some point, leaving Ronda by herself. So she's taking them one at a time.
Well, Ronda's been able to make some friends backstage as well. She teamed with Naomi at Elimination Chamber just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she
has some friends in the locker room herself. Actually, throughout this entire premium live event up to this point, I've yet to pick first. So I guess I'll take first on this one. But I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what you said. I do think Ronda Rousey wins this match. Just because of the fact that, why are you bringing her back if all you're going to do is just put her in the mid-card? Ronda Rousey, you're not bringing her back for her to just be a standard person that's just going to be in the locker room for the year that she's going to be here. You're expecting her to be running this division, and the reality is you're going to need to put the title on her, but at the same time, the only thing that I think a lot of fans are fearing is you're going to end up with another year-long Ronda Rousey title reign, which eventually you're going to run out of people on SmackDown and it's going to get stale, especially since you're using Charlotte so early. You obviously probably get the rematch at Backlash, but then after that, you're looking at the SmackDown roster, which is not quite as strong as the Raw roster right now, probably minus Sasha and Naomi, and obviously they have their own storyline right now. You truly you wonder if they're ready to put it on Ronda right now, but I do think they will. I think Charlotte's run her mouth one too many times, and even though this one has had a lot more animosity than the one with 35, which Becky was also involved with, I think the good, clean hate here is gonna pay dividends, but I do like Ronda winning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Take it. All right, Kia, your pick?
The one I was getting so hot and passionate about. Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet, in my opinion. So.
Pretty sure it's a moniker as well. Alyssa?
I think it's going to be Ronda, too. I'm not going to lie.
There's not going to be much difference between all of us throughout the pay-per-view here.
They want to follow the leader. That's all right. That's great.
So
and I'm
Ronda across the board here. Gotcha.
I'm joking.
Alrighty, and that moves us into what is expected to be the main event segment. And I do say segment because it's kind of bad that it won't actually be a match, but it has already been officially announced. It will be the KO show, which will feature Stone Cold Steve Austin making his first official WWE-based, appearance, that wasn't, that's actually scheduled in 19 years. Interesting that they're choosing to do this on what is already a pretty loaded Saturday, but you wonder if this is leading to something more.
Can someone give me a hell yeah?
Oh my God.
I don't got the beer to crush it together, but you know what I mean.
We're going to be doing plenty of that when we get there. Don't you worry about that. The fact is, Kevin Owens has wasted no time, and he spent about 8 weeks doing it. As he's been insulting the state of Texas, he's been insulting the people of the state of Texas. I can see Kia's the steam coming off her head as we speak, because she is from Austin. This was dead set to be exactly what it was. And then when KO and Seth ended up losing their chance at the Raw tag titles, he needed his way into Mania. Okay. And not only did he get his way into Mania, he got his way to the main event of Mania, despite the fact that it'll be on a show, and it's with, honestly, the biggest ass kicker that WWE has ever had.
Do we expect any less from Kevin Owens? Do we really? This man can literally get into anywhere at any time if he really wants to. Now, let's go ahead and, back up the train. Did you say he was down in Texas?
Yes.
Did you say he was bad-mouthing Texas?
Yes, he was.
Did you? You understand that as much as I love you, KO,
only and poorly.
As much as I love you, KO, and I have nothing but respect for you because you are one of the baddest men on the roster, when you decide you're gonna down my community and my people and my state, I will pull against you just for that. So noticing and saying my pick is Stone Cold. I don't even know what's about to happen, but I'm still picking Stone Cold.
And that's why I said, and I wonder, if this is going to lead to something more, because why put this on Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
I get they won't main event with Brock and Roman on Sunday, but, you've still got a spot left on that Sunday card that still needs to be filled. You wonder, could you potentially have maybe KO get one over on him and maybe Stone Cold put laces up the boots one more time? Wouldn't that be fun in front of the Texas crowd one last time?
Yeah.
But, I don't think that this is going to be your standard Steve Austin where he's just going to come out, hit 2 stunners, drink beer, and then go back to the back. I don't think this is going to be that. I think there's going to be a lot more to this than meets the eye. I mean, you're using a main event WrestleMania spot for this, so whatever this is going to be epic.
I feel like he needs to be on a truck. I feel like he needs to be on a big rig like he was for one of the first matches I watched with him in it.
Very old school Raw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alyssa?
All I'm going to say is this man is a comedian. Him with that bald cap, with it coming up, oh my gosh, that mess was taking me out. But then it was the acting job. This man deserves an Oscar for his performance that he put on when he hit that music again to make them folks that he was coming out. But when I tell you I was dying, he's supposed to. I was like, wait, chill out now. I was like, oh my god, he's coming. And he was like, oh, y'all are stupid. And I played y'all again. Pow. I was like, oh. Even I was a little played. I was like, oh,
I'm sorry.
let me calm down. But
Right, so our question on this one, and we're posing the same question to the audience as well. From Austin himself, stunner over under. We're going 4.5. More or less than 4.5. Does he get to 5 stunners total, or do we go under that?
I think he gets to like 6.
So you're going over.
I'm going over.
Alyssa?
I think he's gonna go over too.
Over. This is gonna be a stunner fest.
He's-
I'm actually
he's
surprised. I
gonna
thought
kick his
4.5 on WWE.com was a little low. But,
You know how they-
this is going to be a stunner fest. And again, we're talking about just from Austin. That's not to sit here and say that, Owens won't hit a couple of his own.
You know how they say they're going to go to Suplex City? I feel like he's about to go to Stunner City.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, and that's what the joy of WrestleMania, especially returning back to the Dallas area. But with that does bring an end to WrestleMania Saturday. This is the first of our 2 episodes, so give us a chance to, take a breath, go get something to eat, go get something to drink here real quick, but we're going to be back in just a minute. That music definitely hit too early, but you guys enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll see you back here in a couple of hours.
Sorry.
Oh my god.